but even just a few years ago, I mean, Barack Obama, Chuck Schumer, they all said that they believed that we should curb illegal immigration.
When you're liberal, you tend not to value the sanctity of your nation the way a conservative does. And that's just in the data. That's not me making that up. That's not me assuming that that's from moral psychology data. And the way people take surveys, the way they answer questions. So they just don't value that the way we value it. So that's the first thing, okay? And then you get to this other, and this is the more cynical view, is do they just want more votes? Are they trying to overwhelm our population with people who they believe will vote for them? They can tell them that they are for that group, and this is identity politics run rampant.
Right.
And if this is a toxic kind of situation here where you don't really care about the sanctity, the sovereignty of your country, and you want more votes to have more power so that you can implement the policies you want. Okay, well now they found themselves in a good spot, and where the status quo looks pretty nice to them, and they'll continue to allow this underclass to inflow into the United States, and then they'll make the moral argument that that's an underclass and that we should give them voting rights. Okay, well, we know and the rest of us have to call out the truth that we see here. That's a cynical view. I don't think all Democrats want that. I definitely don't think Democrat voters want that. That I am sure of. There's no Democrat voters saying this.
Yeah.
All right, but I think the politicians have somewhat of a different view.
I do worry about those who follow in the footsteps of people like AOC, people who are my age, who have just come out of the university system where they're basically just teaching this crazy postmodernism that doesn't have any founding in reality. I worry about those people who, for them, illegal immigration or basically having open borders is ideological. Like, it's truly a moral issue for them, to where they buy into this crazy narrative that, well, white supremacy founded this country. This wasn't our land in the first place, so why the heck do we have borders? I worry about those people, because how do you rationalize with irrational people? Do you have any advice on that?
If they're that far gone, I don't try to rationalize with them. I mean, I'm not so sure that there's a point to it.
Yeah.
I think it is about 7% of the population by some statistics, and so I'm not overly worried about that, and I'm not going to waste my time trying to tackle that. I'll debate them in public so that I can put on display for the rest of the population like what's going on here. But I mean, because what you're describing, that postmodernism, they're coming from such a fundamentally different place.
Yeah.
There's so much daylight between us that it's like, you can't.
You can't even get there. You got to go to like the
They have
bare
different
bones.
goals. I mean, when you have different goals, you can't compromise. You can compromise if we all want to alleviate poverty. Like, we can compromise. Okay, there's they're going to want more transfer payments, more welfare. We're going to want some institutionalized personal responsibility within that welfare program. See how there's a compromise that we eventually come up with. If we want fundamentally different things, if one side thinks the country is bad, like on a deep core level, it's bad, and we think it's good, I'm not so sure we have much in common anymore.